Hello and welcome back to Pokemon White version, where today we are going past the Mistralton Gym and we are going to meet the reason for this run. If I'm not mistaken. I do believe this is when it happens. Just gonna make sure that, yep, everyone's happy and healthy. Also, we're still looking for a shiny Mewtwo in the background. Or on the side, I suppose. Hey, look, it's rainy. That sure is weird. Redmond! This is your mom. How are you doing? Wow, you're already on Route 7? You've gone quite far. Say, how are your Pokemon? You can't get that far all by yourself, you know. It's all thanks to your Pokemon. Don't forget to take care of them. Am I being too serious? Well, take care. Senior Trainer Mom, signing off. Okay, that is not the call I expected here. You know, we've been told that holding still on these walkways will cause us to fall. And yet here we are, holding stock still, about to have a battle on this walkway. A battle on a raised walkway, that's kind of cool. Hey there, Nick. You know what? In the rain, this might just work. It did not just work. Thankfully, no full para, so we can still pick up the KO. No, Duosion isn't a good choice. Duosion can't do neutral damage to Sigilif. I guess Krokorok. Thankfully, Light Screen doesn't help against Crunch. Not in this game. There have been games where it did. That stopped in Gen 4. It's good to sway wildly on a raised walkway. Is it? I feel like it'd be better to keep your balance on a raised walkway. Ooh, X-Scissor is nice, if we can teach it to anyone. We can teach it to Samurott. It is better than the Fury Cutter we used to have, though if we replace Slash with it, then we won't have anything that can hit water flying. So I think we'll just leave it off for now. if we come upon a point where X-Scissor becomes valuable, we can put it on then. Because it's a TM, we always have it. So, in completely unrelated news, I've actually had something interesting going on lately. I got my hands on an AYN Thor emulation handheld. And have been in the process of digitizing my 3DS game library for use on it. I love raised walkways. Balancing is fun, so I often come here to play. And, yeah, I've been digitizing all of my physical 3DS games. I really should have been putting them in my systems more frequently, because there is a potential bit rot issue with 3DS cartridges. Some seem more prone to it than others. But suffice it to say, it is a thing that exists and is known. And in the process of digitizing all of my games, I discovered that one of my physical games has indeed succumbed to bit rot. The good news is, it's one that I also own digitally more than once. Yeah, it's my original Japanese copy of Monster Hunter Stories. The cartridge is dead. Like, dead, kaput. And yeah, but I have a digital copy of the Japanese version. I have a digital copy of the US version. I have the iOS version. I have the Steam HD version. I've got the Switch HD version in both physical and digital. Thankfully, of all the games that I could have had succumb to bit rot, that is the one that I was least likely to miss. Because I have so many other ways to play it, I have not lost any content whatsoever. If you walk on a raised walkway, you can move without encountering wild Pokémon. But if you stop to rest for a while, you'll fall. I've always wondered why there's just a little jumpy spot there. And actually, just to really hammer home how much I'm not going to miss being able to use my physical copy of Monster Hunter Stories Japanese version on 3DS, I never even launched the game after it got its post-launch patches. Like, I didn't experience that content until the Steam release of the game. So, like, yeah. That just goes to show how much I was probably never ever going to launch the Japanese 3DS version of the game again. So yeah, I've not lost anything I'm going to miss. It's just sad knowing that the game card that has been purely decorative for the last 10 plus years is actually only decorative and not usable in any way. What's got me mildly worried is I haven't gone on to digitizing my standard DS collection yet. There's a very real chance that some of those could have been subjected to bit rot over all these years. But hopefully they'll be fine. Twist Mountain. Redmond! Since we both hold the jet badge now, let's see which of us is stronger. So we got Unpheasant out first. Okay, so I was correct about where we encounter Thundurus. I was not correct about the part of the game. We have to have actually finished we have to get our 8th badge before Thundurus shows up. Also cool, we flinched. I love that Air Slash against me has had a roughly 50% flinch rate. Your strength and my strength. Right, let's test them. So saith Chariot. Let's swap to Duocean. I want to get more XP on Darumaka. But with it raining, Darumaka is not nearly as good as it could be. I don't like that crit me. Joke's on you, Unpheasant. Taunt is a wasted move on this otter. And there's something I would really like to bring in Darumaka for, but... again, in the rain... I mean, I'm still bringing in Darumaka, but... in the rain, it's not capable of as much. But a Flare Blitz still ought to do plenty of damage. And a burn. Citrus? No, lefties. Interesting. So the burn isn't going to reduce this thing's health at all. Thanks, Hustle. Hustle literally just got Darumaka killed just now. Darumaka would still be alive if not for Hustle. Or at least the Servine would be down. I forget whether Leech Seed goes on a turn when you knock out your opponent. I don't like that Semaphore is faster than my Archon. Or my Arkin. Need to pronounce it right. in before this scald burns. Oh, it didn't. Pretty sure that's the first time in this run a scald has been used on me and neither burned nor KO'd. Can you be strong even if you lose? Is winning everything? And of course it uses Fake Out. That's a citrus. Thankfully, Torment doesn't stop me from using the move after I've already selected it. If it did, I would have had to swap off a Lilligant because she has no other means of doing damage. I guess Leech Seed technically does damage, but still, that hardly counts. That was a fine Pokemon battle. I'm happy to see you're both growing as trainers. If it isn't the champion Alder, I'm weak, so I lost. And honestly, it bothers me when you call it a fine battle despite that. Oh, honestly, Charon. Just accept the compliment without the stinging remark. I've asked you this before, but what do you plan to do after becoming strong? If I get strong and become a champion, that will be the reason for my existence. I want to prove that I'm really living. You remind me of Marshall. Of course, having something you want to become is important. But what is even more important is what you do with your newfound power. Anyway, take this. Here, you too. I don't mind that. If you use the move Surf, you can travel over water. I shall see you again, young trainers. Don't forget about the needs of the Pokemon at your side. What I do with my power? I don't know that answer yet. First, I want to become a strong trainer so everyone will acknowledge that power. Redmond, next time I will win. So let's just instantly teach this Surf to one Samurott. Water Pulse can go. And now let's go back to the healing house. Conquering a mountain means conquering your fears. Can you win against Pokemon that have conquered many mountains? I mean, yeah, probably. So all of that damage was from a super effective dig. I think a neutral crunch should get the KO from here. Barely not. Let's not leave a dark type in front of a fighting type. Yeah, no, we don't need to learn Taunt. Oh boy, it's Darmanitan time! Which means we get rid of Hustle! Yes, I would like to learn Hammer Arm. Get rid of Facade. Yes, now, instead of Hustle, we have Sheer Force. Which, technically, I believe does reduce the damage that our moves will do relative to Hustle, but removing added effects instead of adding a mischance in exchange for slightly smaller damage boost, I will take that, especially because the attack gain from evolution, I believe, does make up for that difference in damage boost. And let's actually now take that experience share away from him, or from her, and give it to Bird. Because I want Bird to evolve so that it can actually outspeed something. Because being slower than everything while having Defeatist is not helpful. Oh, Redmond! What a surprise, seeing you here while I was inspecting Twist Mountain. The two of you seem a bit more rugged than the last time I saw you. A little bit, anyway. Is that so? By the by, you folks seen that Team Plasma crowd lately? After all the trouble, we gym leaders met up and had a chat. But we've got no clue where they are. It's like they're hiding under a rock. Well, not much to do but wait for them to move. Anyhow, this is none of your concern. Squirts like the two of you should just enjoy traveling with your Pokemon. Twist Mountain's a fine place to explore. You'll have some fun if you just leave this here path. Well, better you just see it yourself, instead of listening to me yammer. Be seeing you, Sprouts. Feel free to train yourselves on my mountain for as long as you like. I thought he was going to get us involved in all that bother again, so I was bracing myself before I knew it. I'm going in first, but I'll be seeing you. So Twist Mountain here is one of the areas with the most dramatic changes between seasons. I've already got a Boldore, don't gotta grab this one. And in fact, can't. Must wait until I find something else here. I could get myself a drill burr. I could. Ah, yes. Iron defense is really going to help you now. The unfortunate part about Twist Mountain being one of the places that changes the most between seasons is that to get to the season where it is significantly different, since we're currently in spring, and the months change in this game with, or the seasons change in this game with every month on the calendar. It's going to be summer in a few days, actually, once we hit June. Then in July, it'll be fall. But winter isn't coming until August. In winter, the appearance of Twist Mountain changes. When I see that, I feel a sense of relief. Yeah, there's some places you can only get to during winter. Also, I just saw this. Not gonna just let it stay there. Alright, there's our encounter for Twist Mountain. If it takes a strength. Oh, it's definitely taking a strength. Cubchoo, the chill Pokémon. Its nose is always running. It sniffs the snot back up because the mucus provides the raw material for its moves. Gross. When I'm surrounded by rocks, my spirit goes up. Well, I'm glad you like rocks. I have to admit, there are aspects of geology that I rather appreciate as well. I especially like gems and whatnot, but also like places where you can see geological strata and interesting geological formations are also quite neat. Columnar basalt is always interesting to look at. Again, we do not leave Croc in front of a fighting type. Oh, there's another interesting thing I can talk about. Last time I streamed, I was talking about how I'd just gotten in copies of Pokemon, Japanese copies of Pokemon Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Black, and White. I did some save archaeology on the DS games. And there were some interesting things. I forget whether it was Diamond or Pearl, but one of them was just your standard fare, nothing particularly special about it. Like, they beat the game, they had all the Pokemon that you would expect a standard playthrough of Diamond or Pearl to have. Nothing really special about it. But the other one had no badges, but their party consisted of Pokemon that were all level 30 plus, except for the 2 level 5 Darkrai's they had, caught in Master Balls. And, then I went and looked in their PC, and they had 18 more Darkrai's all caught in Master Balls, ranging in level from 2 to 100, most of them being level 4. And they were all holding either a Master Ball or a rare candy. Something tells me that player was a cheater. And then, again, I forget whether it was the black or the white, but one of them, the only Pokemon left in the boxes were a couple of your standard fare types. Like, just Pokemon that you would catch during a playthrough. My spirits rise and fall. I'm just charmingly unpredictable. But then, the other Pokemon in that box were a handful of Japanese event Pokemon that, between their original trainers, their IDs, their met locations, and the date that they were met, all of it suggests that they are entirely legitimate event Pokemon. With the most interesting of them being the shiny Genesect from that one movie. So yeah, handful of seemingly fully legitimate Japanese event Pokemon on a Japanese file. It's a pretty nice find. Means I actually now have 2 legitimate, or at least as far as I can tell legitimate, shiny movie Genesects. And then the other one, I think it was White is the one, or I think Black was the one that I was just talking about. Or no, White was the one I was just talking about. The copy of Black that I got had another player's save on it who had finished the game. And by all appearances, it was your completely standard playthrough. Like, nothing super special about it. Except, this was the type of player who nicknames every single Pokemon they catch. So there were a lot of fun names. Like, their party consisted of a Zekrom named Zekroon, Pokachan the Embor, which that comes from Tepig's Japanese name, which is Pokabu. So yeah, Pokachan. They had a Garchomp that belonged to a different trainer, or a Garchomp with a different OT at least. A Lapras with a different OT. Being with Pokemon is natural. Having a Pokemon battle is natural. Why don't we test whether that is true? They had an Espeon that belonged to a different OT. And they had a Krokorok named Wawawanini, which Wani is the Japanese word for crocodile, so it was basically crocodile, which is just a fun name. So that was their party. But then we look at the Pokemon that they had in the boxes. We have... most of them are just, you take the first couple syllables of the Pokemon's name and add Chan or Tan or just other honorifics. But there were a handful where they got a little bit more creative, which is always fun to see. We had Gurasan, the Sandile, which Gurasan is basically just a term for dude in glasses. We had Lepa Lepa, the Lipard. There was Chirachi, the Minchino, which admittedly they only changed the mi at the end of Chirami, which is its Japanese name, to Chi, but as a result they made it so that it's literally just one character away from being Jirachi, which amused me. We got Gomio, the Trubbish, which Gomio is basically just trashy. There was 112, the Herdier, which is basically like Woof Woof 2. There was a Deerling named Shikajika, which Deerling's Japanese name is Shikijika, which basically means seasoned deer. Shikajika means deer. There was Shtashta, the Lickitung, which is basically tongue. We had Iwakatai, the Boldor, which Iwa means rock and Katai means hard, so rock hard the Boldor. If my Pokemon don't want to fight, I will quit being a trainer, because there are a lot of other things I can do with my Pokemon. We had Itatachi, the Watchog, which Itachi means weasel, so it's basically Weazeasel. Or, depending on what they meant, it could also have been Oweasel. We got Rosokun, the Litwick, which Rosoku is the Japanese word for candle, so basically they called him Can-Dude. Which, honestly, pretty good name. We got Kung Fu, the Mienfu. Or it was Kung Fu, but still, Kung Fu, the Mienfu. We got another deerling named Naranoshika, which basically just Nara deer, because Nara is known for its deer. We got Hamonono, the Pawniard, which is basically just Bladeade, because Hamono means blade. We got Aririri, the Durant, which is basically... Ari is just the Japanese word for ant. So it's ant, basically. We got a Basculin named Agouo, which is basically Chinfish. Which, I mean, if you look at Basculin's sprite in this game, yeah, it's got a very prominent chin. We got Nido, the Nidoran female. They really extended the E. There's Inukakin, the Smeargle, which Inukaki is basically the Japanese word for doggy paddle, so it's like doggy paddler. Though kaki also can mean to draw, so it's a little pun. I want to know how the fighting Pokemon feel. That's why I fight too. That's me, a battle girl. There's Moo Moo Moon, the Lunatone. Moo Moon Moon, the Muna. Dogoon, the Claydol, which Dogu is a well-known ancient sculpture in Japan, so yeah. Go from Dogu to Dogoon. We got a Cherrim with the probably fairly standard name of Sakura. Their Thundurus, they named Pikarim. They got a Braviary named Toririri, which Tori means bird, so basically birderderd. They got a Pineco named Matsubo, which Matsubo is the first part of the word for pinecone, which is interesting because the Japanese name for pineco doesn't reference pine cones. It's Kunugidama, which is a different type of thing than a pine cone. At least if I'm not mistaken. They had a Sneasel named Nenene Koko, which Neko means cat, so basically Kakakatat. They had a Soul Rock they named Taiyo, which just means sun. Yeah, that's the stuff they had. A handful of interesting nicknames in that old copy that belonged to someone who loved nicknaming Pokemon. When you train every day, your body moves as you like. It feels really good. Also, hooray, we have an Archeops now. See how the speed stat compares to other Pokemon in the party. 100. Far and away the fastest. So, hopefully that means that Archeops will actually outspeed things. And not be so at risk of triggering Defeatist. And we'll leave Croc out front for now. Yeah, save archaeology in used Pokemon games is always fun. The Gen 3 games that I got earlier. Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green. They didn't have as much interesting to them. They were all of them the saves of cheaters. At work, we do our best. That is my and my Pokemon's way of life. But yeah, since those 4 were all cheaters, it was nice that of the 4 new games that I got, the DS games, only one of them was a cheater. But that does mean that 5 out of 8 of the Pokemon games that I have gotten in that still had non-test saves on them, 5 out of 8 were cheaters. Though actually the prevalence of cheating is interesting in and of itself. Because, like, a lot of people look back at old games and are like, oh man, games used to be hard. That was so much better. It was great when games were hard. People used to buy cheat devices with actual money to make games easier. Like, there was a very significant number of people who didn't just accept that games were hard and try and beat them that way anyway. Even Pokemon games, literal kids games, people would cheat in. Well, I guess I'll go back to work, because my precious Pokemon are better at work. Surely this last pile over here is going to... Yep. The number 2 trainer on Twist Mountain is me. Oh, so you recognize that I'm number 1. All right. Kind of disappointing if the number 2 trainer has only a Swoobat. And we have been flinched by Air Slash again. I'm pretty sure Air Slash, when used against me, has had a roughly 50% flinch rate in this run. It's too much. He just said that from now on I'm the number 2 trainer here. That's untrue. I'm the number 1 trainer here. From now on, I will be the number 3 trainer on Twist Mountain. For your information, the number 1 is Clay. But I've beaten Clay, and therefore I am the number 1 trainer. Let us bird. Oh, I need to check if Archeops can learn fly. It can! And since Crunch and Shadowclaw have so much overlap in terms of coverage, we're just gonna ditch Shadowclaw. Because that way I still get to keep Acrobatics, which we can use to do lots of flying type damage without needing to wait a turn first. Yep, figured at least one of these had to have person. Twist Mountain changes in every season, and this old man changes in every battle. Alright, rather than use Dig again and fish for crits, let's just swap to someone who can use a special move that is super effective and get rid of this Boldore. Ooh, nice miss on the rock slide. We appreciate that. This guy's gonna have 3 Boldores, isn't he? They're all gonna be sturdy. Yep. I hope we find the doctor soon. Because he was visible from up above. We just need to get to the right part of the mountain to actually battle him and thus use his services. I wouldn't be so hard-pressed for it if I had remembered to actually buy more healing supplies before leaving town, but I didn't. This old man likes winter. Snow on Twist Mountain has an indescribable beauty. I like winter too, but that's because winter here in Southern California never gets that cold. Like, the bitterest cold night we get all winter long gets down to pretty much right on the freezing point. 32F 0C. And most nights, like even for an especially cold week, we'll rarely get below 40 Fahrenheit, which is, you know, it's not warm. And for reference, that's about 4.5 C. 4.5 Celsius. So yeah, even the coldest of nights, well, not the coldest, but most cold nights during winter are still above freezing, and like during the day, most days will still get up to like the mid-50s on the coldest of days, which is about 13 Celsius. So yeah, it never gets that cold here. And boy, do I like it when it's nice and cozy warm inside, but cold outside. Especially because when it's cold outside, my PC doesn't have to work so hard to keep itself cool, and my room gets use of a space heater that actually doesn't make me feel like I'm suffering. Because when I start using my PC for actually heavy workloads, like modern gaming, during the summer, then my room heats up considerably and it is suffering. But if I do it during winter, it just helps my room be a nice, comfy temperature while I am also playing a game. It's great. I love it. I've gone to a lot of effort making my PC's aesthetics look nice. Like, there's a lot of RGB in this thing, and I've got them set up the way I like and all that. If I'm honest, if I had my way, I would move the PC out of my room and just have its cords coming into the room. And that way I could do whatever gaming I wanted without heating my room up to the point of making it uninhabitable. I almost said inhability. Inhability? Inhabitability? Which... no. Uninhability. Uninhabitability. There we go. Those words. Uninhabitable is easy to say. Uninhabitability is not the word. Uninhabitability. Uninhabitability. There you go. Just one of those things that it is difficult, astonishingly difficult to make your mouth say. Or at least mine. We've trained by doing physical work. Our attacks are super powerful. Of course, if I did move my PC out of the room, then I'd still have to find a way to get some of the important visual indicators to be represented in the room. Because, like, I've got a screen on my AIO that I use to show the temperature of my CPU, which isn't usually that important, but it has been good to have once. Though specifically that was on my old AIO. That one was mostly fine, but one day it just, apparently the pump just decided not to start up or something, and so the, I realized something was wrong when I was just sitting idle on the desktop and the temperature was climbing dramatically. This worker is happy to have a job that lets him be with his favorite Pokemon. And then also I've got some warnings set up in my RGB software where if certain temps go above the acceptable limits, or start approaching the acceptable limits, rather. Well, no, it's above the acceptable limit. If they start approaching the actual limits where things will start causing significant problems, perhaps breaking, perhaps forcing a shutdown. Like, if we get close to that point, all of the lights inside my case go red, which tells me, hey, something is very wrong, fix it immediately. During a long journey, you'll be happy if you meet a doctor. If you can win against me, I'll make your Pokemon healthy. And yeah, that turning red when things go wrong is something that I wouldn't want to lose out on that type of warning by placing my PC out of the room. So, yeah. There's no perfect option here. Though, if I completely rethought my setup, and that would be a huge pain, needing to move around everything in this room, but if I rethought my setup, then I might be able to be just fine without all the big red lights that are very attention-grabbing, because, like, I've got my Stream Deck over here to my left when I am facing my TV, which is my monitor, which is straight ahead about 10 feet away, but it's very big. So yeah, if I moved things around so that my Stream Deck could be, you know, in front of me where I can see it and the TV at the same time, then I could put some little warning keys on there. But yeah, it would take some doing, and putting it where I can see it would also make it, at least at present, more difficult to reach. So yeah, there's no perfect solution in this room as it is right now. After a Pokemon battle, let them recover slowly. Why not quickly? Health is always crucial. It really is. I mean, that's true. Okay, we got 2 doors to investigate here. Alright, looks like that door might be less important. Might be the exit rather than an entrance. I know Duosion's super effective against Girder, but Girder gives attack IVs, or not IVs, EVs, attack EVs, rather than special attack. No, let's hop over here. Okay, yes, this is in fact only an exit. Just a sec here. All right. One of my cats is within my line of sight. Fast asleep. Her face pointed straight at me. It's cute enough I felt compelled to take a picture. Why do I dig? Why do you fight? Let's find out. You're a hiker, not a digger. And you're not gonna do much digging with a Woobat, that's for sure. That's Smackdown. Oh, that would explain why it did a surprising amount of damage. It was a crit. I wouldn't mind finding that shiny Mewtwo right about now. Getting tired of looking for Mewtwo's. Mainly because you need to be paying attention at a specific part of when they show up in order to actually see it. Because, like, here we can see that it's purple. But then, if we aren't paying attention, and the next time we look, hey look, pressure covers up that it's purple. So, like, when there's an animation up there that catches my eye, it's often the pressure thing showing up. The more you fight, the stronger you'll be. The more you dig, the bigger the hole will be. If you have a purpose, there's no wasted effort. And so yeah, just the fact that you can't always see whether Mewtwo's shiny or not when it's on screen. I mean, I guess the non-purple / green part will be a slightly different shade when it's shiny. But the most obvious thing about it being shiny is the tail goes from purple to green. And that isn't always visible whenever Mewtwo is on screen. Meanwhile, the next shiny hunt I have queued up, Rayquaza, is something that you can 100% always see whenever it's on screen. And like, it's been a few streams since I started looking for this Mewtwo, so I'd like it to just show up already. I don't want it to keep closing in on Landorus's record. Like, it's still got a ways to go before it reaches said record. But I don't like that it's getting even close to halfway. I would prefer everything to keep to a quarter of Lando's record or less. Because honestly, a quarter of Lando's record is like 8 hours. That's 3 streams. And I feel like that's a fine amount of time to spend looking for a shiny. When I spend more than that looking for a shiny, like when I've been looking for the same shiny for more than 3 streams, it's like, I want to move on. But such is the way of things that some shinies go especially long to make up for the ones that go especially short. The law of large numbers says that they will eventually average out to roughly the same time that you would expect if you just did the math of like, how long does it take per check? What are the odds? Okay. It's going to average out to amount of time per check multiplied by number of checks to exactly hit odds. Words are unnecessary. I can understand everything if we battle. Sock is sturdy, isn't it? Or it can be. So the odds of getting a shiny Mewtwo on this particular file of Ultra Moon, since it has the shiny charm, are approximately 1 in 1,365 per check. Which means our odds of not finding a shiny on any given check are roughly 99.93%. Though people in Pokemon cannot communicate with words, we can communicate with our hearts. Now, if I take a very conservative estimate, arguably too conservative, and assume that I check 2 Mewtwo's per minute. My Pokemon love the Oremind here, and they love fiery Pokemon battles. If memory serves, I can do a check as quickly as, like, 15 seconds. But let's just assume I'm checking 2 per minute across a 3-hour stream. That's 360 Mewtwo's. So, if we look at the chances of not getting a shiny Mewtwo 360 times in a row, that means that if I do, in fact, check exactly 2 Mewtwo's per minute over the course of a 3-hour stream, there is a roughly 24.2% chance on any given stream that I find my Mewtwo. That's not too bad. I just need to hit it. Oh, sorry, my mistake. 23.2% chance, roughly. Yeah, Crab, 25% is not terrible odds. Admittedly, when it's 25% across 3 hours, it's not as good as it could be. But it is still remarkably good for a shiny, being able to say, like, yeah, I've got a roughly 25% chance of finding one within 3 hours. There are definitely shiny hunts that go over that mark. Also, hooray, Duocean gets to learn Psychic, which is way better than Psyshock. I mean, it's actually only 10 base power better than Psyshock. You know what? Let's get rid of Hidden Power. Because that way, Duocean can at least target both defenses with moves that are strong. And Psychic is 100% going to be stronger than Psychic-typed Hidden Power. Be nice if my Duocean could hit anything else, but if Pokemon eat the ore inside a mountain, a hole grows, and our work speeds up. People in Pokemon work great together. Oh, hey, a vending machine. But I will not buy any drinks. Unless... Can I buy, like, more than one of... Nope. If I could buy more than one lemonade at a time, it'd be nicer. Can we use these? No. Why does this room exist? Pretty sure the reason is because during winter, some workers go there instead of being in places that are inaccessible. Okay, so that is a one-way back here. Where does this go? That looks like it's the direction we're supposed to go. Let's go a direction we can go, but that is not progress first. If you look for something in an empty place like this, you can discover things. That's true. Fun fact, another thing I prefer about winter of all seasons. Less pollen. The local flora are not kind to me. Most of the year I'm actually fine. But there are some times where I am less fine. And when I am less fine because of pollen allergies, what happens to me is, well, one thing that you just heard a little while ago, sniffles. But also, it really affects my eyes. Yeah, pollen just makes my eyes get super red, super itchy. It's honestly painful some days. And thankfully I can mitigate it with some antihistamines, but yeah, it's to the point where, like, I have taken pictures where, you know, my eyes completely bloodshot. But if I widen them, like open my eyes a little wider than normal, the parts that are normally covered by eyelid were a pristine white. So my eyes looked like a freaking Poké Ball. And yeah, it's a thing. But they get so bloodshot that, like, in my late high school and early college days, I would routinely be asked in the spring, "Dude, are you high?" It's like, no, I'm not. It's just allergies. Pollen makes my eyes turn red. Ooh, flash cannon's good. Can Duosion. Can Duosion learn it? It's not going to be Reuniclus for another few levels. It can! We finally get coverage beyond Psychic type! Let's ditch the light screen. Admittedly, having Steel-type attacks isn't quite as useful in this game as it is in, say, any future generation. But it's still a handy thing to have. Another interesting thing about my seasonal allergies, the pollen and whatnot. For the 2 years I lived in Japan, it was not an issue at all. Apparently I'm only allergic to the local flora. And Japan's exotic flora just didn't cause trouble. I was totally fine in spring in Japan. So yeah, that's another thing I miss about living there, not having to deal with my spring allergies. You know what? There is this right here. I do have a couple Pokemon who are low on health right now. So let's buy a small handful of lemonades. It's a little bit of a waste, but let's get Archeops also to full HP. Get a little farther away from Defeatist, you know? Where is this going to lead me? To another Cubchoo. I wish Zen Mode Darmanitan was more usable. Because, like, it's a cool form. If it was a boxable form, I'd like it better. But it's not a boxable form. I believe this is the winter path into where you're supposed to go. Like, the snow piles up to there and then you can get in there. Whereas a few of the lower tunnel entrances, including the one to get in here from down there, are blocked off by snow. Oh, they're going at it! Look at those two having a heated battle! Their Pokemon are really roughing each other up, is what it looks like. Huh, pretty strong. But you're only strong because you trainers are controlling Pokemon. So if you want to set Pokemon free, if that's what you want, you should start with your own. But taking people's Pokemon by force is not right. That is not real strength. Hey, there you are. We found that thing we were looking for. We should head for the tower now. Get this, Team Plasma has obtained the power to change this world and end people's control over Pokemon. That's right. We must use force in order to right the wrongs of the world. Now, let's gather around our king, our Lord N. Those guys, I don't know what they've found, but they go to the extra mile to gain power and cause trouble. What a bothersome bunch. Did I say go to the extra mile? Just go the extra mile. Redmond, I'm going to stay here for a while. I want to think a little bit about what the champion asked me. What do I want to do with my power after I get strong? And why do I want to be strong in the first place? Hello, Redmond. How's Krokorok? Ah, this Krokorok is really taking a shine to you. The Pokédex is important, but time spent having fun together is also important. Say, I just had a thought. Have you heard of Dragon Spiral Tower? I've heard of it, yes. Really? Quite impressive. Okay, give this story a listen. Dragon Spiral Tower is said to be the Unova region's oldest building. Stories say it's the place where legendary Pokemon came to life or where they remain in deep slumber. I know it's just past Asira's city, but that's all I know about it. That's all anyone knows, because no one has ever been inside. No one? Ever? My daughter has wanted to investigate that tower for a long time. What? There's something I don't know? That kind of feeling is pure adventure. And I'm not too old for some adventuring. Anyway, away I go to have a look at Dragon Spiral Tower. Catch you later. And this is the city that most changes with the seasons. But we're here in spring, so it's not really going to be that interesting. That said, nope, not trying to stop surfing. We're getting an encounter. Our first city encounter. Might take a while, given that we only have these 2 tiles to surf on. I mean, we could... Oh, just walking around in the water also can get us encounters. Hello, Shelmet. So, finding a Shelmet means that I could get myself an Excelgor. But why would I? That is the question. I don't believe I would use an Excelgor on this party. But I'll still catch it if it survives this dig. Oh, that's one way to survive this dig. Well, try again. Right, it's not a steel type yet. If it survives this strength, I will throw a ball. Shelmet, the snail Pokemon. It evolves when bathed in an electric-like energy along with Carablast. The reason is still unknown. Shame you can't have Shelmet and Carablast evolve by just having them in a double battle and getting hit by Discharge. Because that would satisfy the conditions that we were just told. Bathed in an electric-type energy along with Carablast. And here's our Route 8 encounter, not that I intended to get it. Stunfisk. I wish Stunfisk was good. Because, I mean, look at it. It's very silly. Plus, Ground Electric is a pretty solid typing. Like, it's not amazing, but it's nice. And it's gone. So I don't want to be on Route 8 just yet. Felt like there had to be an item around there. If you walk in the wetlands, you might surprise wild Pokemon into popping out. That's true. Ooh, TMs. I'm gonna go ahead and pass on all of these. I like my moves to be more accurate, you know? Yeah, we're fine on Pokeballs for now. We are not fine on Hyper Potions. I'm lucky it's raining today. The legendary Pokemon gave help to the hero who sought truth. Because of that, a region was created. Then, when its physical form was lost, the Pokemon became the Light Stone, waiting patiently for a new hero. I heard that story when I was little. The reason I'm lucky it's raining today is because it made it so that the title is still applicable. I thought we were going to encounter Thundurus today, but no, we have to get the 8th badge. We did go past the place where Thundurus is encountered for the first time. But it doesn't show up until you have all 8 badges. Because, yeah, it's on Route 7. Like, right in the middle of Route 7, just past the rest house, is where you first meet Thundurus. But in order for that to show up, we first need to get over here to Opelucid. Dance, dance, 2 dragons! Mix it up day and night, 'cause today everything's alright! Spin apart, mix and twirl! Spin, spin, turn and spin! None of them is singing the same song, as far as I can tell. The legendary Pokemon Reshiram shared its wisdom with the hero and defied foes with columns of fire. The hero and that Pokemon were as close as a parent and child. People were filled with awe and looked up to them, and that is said to be the beginning of what became ancient Unova. If we live a monotonous life, do we get used to it and stop thinking about changing it? Listen, listen, I heard that Bryson was in the movies a long time ago. Also, a few years from now, he remains in movies. They say ideals intermingled with truth, and the Dragon Spiral Tower was created. It has been there watching us for thousands of years. I don't know whether or not this is true. Ahem. I'm the chairman who loves Pokemon the most among Poke fans in the entire world. If you are a trainer, will you show me how you are raising your Pokemon with loving care? Oh, which Pokemon will you show me? I guess just Krokorok, it's in front. Oh, this Krokorok was level 17 when you met, but now it's level 39. I see. Although it's just a smidgen, I can feel your love for your Pokemon. Well, you showed me good stuff. Please keep raising your Pokemon with loving care. So he only cares about the difference in levels from when we got it versus now? In which case, Samurott. Oh, this Samurott was level 5 when you met, but now it's level 37. You've raised it well. You must be affectionate. A second XP share. Not bad. That is a token of gratitude for showing me your great love for your Pokemon. Welcome to the Pokemon Fan Club. Shall I check how friendly your Pokemon is toward you? Sure, why not? Oh my, you're Krokorok. It is super friendly to you. I'm a bit jealous. Gym time. Please take this fresh water. Ice can be melted with fire or shattered with fighting. Or you might want to smash it into dust with rock or steel. And we do not want to have Krokorok out front here. Let's give Darmanitan something to hold. Might as well do Scope Lens, I suppose. Swoop. Well, well, if you're feeling dizzy because of the gym machines, I will stand in your path. What if I'm not feeling dizzy? Dang, because we've got sheer force, we can't hope for a burn to make this endure worthless. We are simply forced to punch again. Honestly, Sheer Force Darmanitan is kind of going to plow through this gym without much trouble. Because, like, we're super effective. We've got Sheer Force boosting our power even more. And then if we just take a look at stats. 109 attack is the third highest attacking stat in the party. And that's before Sheer Force gets included. Sheer Force and Stab. Being fired into the air by cannons and spinning on the ice many times. It's difficult to get badges. Swoop. Let me battle with you. Honestly, being fired into the air by cannons isn't the bad part. It's landing afterwards. And also the one part where you get fired into the wall by cannons. Let's see if a fire punch is enough for a Cryogonal. Or Cryogonal. Thankfully, light screen won't affect our damage output here, so it'll still be a good test. And yep, Fire Punch is enough. We do not have to Flare Blitz them. Engage the switches and start from the defined position. If you try all the combinations, someday you'll find the right one. What would they have done if I failed to make that jump? Where would I have ended up? How would my legs have fared? I always calm myself and choose the critical moment in a battle. This is 2 gyms in a row that have cared not one bit for the safety of their challengers. Being calm and having no emotion are different. Bryson rejoices quietly, and he grows quietly in rage. He grows in rage? Do you mean his rage grows? Because if he's the one growing in rage, then... And it looks like this is a one-way. So I suppose we have to go this way, and then... I believe they want me to go left, up, then right. But we can go right here and battle this girl early. The problem is never whether you can battle or not. It's whether you will battle or not. And boy, will I battle. kind of weird that this is the first ice cream we've seen in this gym. When you're not sure if you'll succeed, build momentum and take a leap. It's fine because your Pokemon are always with you. And swoop. And button. And swoop. Honestly, the fact that the dip... We go back up to the same elevation we were at to begin with, before making a jump. There's no way we can get the momentum to actually make this jump with so small a dip. Like, you need it to be a steeper dip, and you would have to have a shorter climb back up than the dip itself. So, like, you'd have to climb back up less than the amount you dipped. So, like, dip down 3 blocks worth and go up 1 block worth. That I would be able to accept allowing us to make this jump, but as is, no. We fell and died. Every single one of those. The slippery frozen floor is perfect for improving your sense of balance. I feel like I tripped over my tongue a million times there and probably said words very wrongly, and yet I wasn't paying attention enough to know if I actually did say words wrongly. But I feel like I put some sounds on the wrong words. Bryson slides on the frozen floor all the time, so it's worn down, and it looks like you can see the path. But maybe I'm imagining it. And swoop. And swoop. I'm the king of karate! Which is nothing special if you know the Japanese name for this trainer class, Karate-o, which is basically just Karate King. I've taught my Pokemon moves that they'll use in battle with you. That is generally how Pokemon battles work. Pokemon do use their moves in battle. But will they use their moves in battle with me? Or will they all get KO'd before they can make a move? Because, thus far in our battles in this gym, we have had exactly 1 move used against us, and it was Light Screen. Actually, wait, there was also an Endure. You know, I bet a Hammer Arm will do. I'm from a fighting dojo in Kanto. This is my global debut, so to speak. And swoop. And swoop. And that's the way back. So we save before gym leaders, because it is right. You appear ready to face a gym leader. Then, bring it. So the fact that someone said that Bryson used to be in movies means that he is currently on a break from acting. But 2 years from now in Black 2 and White 2, he will be right back at it. No, I don't think Darmanitan needs taunt. All the damage I've taken in this gym has been self-inflicted. All of it. Extreme conditions really test you and train you. And yep, every last point of damage I took in this entire gym was self-inflicted. The only moves my opponents ever got to use were Endure and Light Screen. The wonderful combination of you and your Pokemon. What a beautiful friendship. In honor of your stout heart, I will give you this. So yeah, that was just a total Darmanitan sweep. Good job, Monkey. This is why we wanted new Fire Monkey instead of old Fire Monkey. You have 7 badges. That means Pokemon up to level 80 will obey you. This TM will convey my regard for your accomplishments. A move that always results in a critical hit, Frost Breath. Honestly, the level caps for Pokemon obeying you go up way too fast. Most of the game, it's just a matter of, oh, if you have the badge, anything that pretty much isn't a level 100 Pokemon you had traded to you will obey you. Because, yeah, our highest level Pokemon here is less than half of the cap that we just got raised to. We are not going to have any Pokemon reach that cap until well into the post-game. I mean, I'm not going to have any Pokemon reach it at all. But you're not going to get a level 80 Pokemon until you're well into the post-game. At this point, you might as well just say that, hey, any Pokemon that wasn't traded to you and isn't level 100, or rather wasn't traded to you or isn't level 100, should obey you without question. Just full stop. There's basically no difference. Redmond, I've been talking with Bianca and I'm wondering, since we left Nuvema Town, has something about me changed? Thinking about what I want to do, thinking about what I should do. It felt like there was nothing. Have I really become stronger? Or is it just my Pokemon that have? I don't know anymore. Hey, cheer up, Charon. Isn't it nice to see everyone? Redmond, know what? This time I'll go to the Pokemon fan club. I'm really searching for what I want to do and what I can do. Who are you? Who, us? I'm Bianca and this is Charon. I know you are there. Why don't you show yourselves? impressive, Gym Leader of Isirus City. We, the Shadow Triad, are beings of the shadows and not easily noticed. Our mission was to speak only with Redmond, but so be it. Getsus has a message for you. Come to Dragon Spiral Tower. It is there that our Lord N waits for you. Now our mission is complete. Dragon Spiral Tower? What's going on? Hey, tell me. Now hang on. Young man, if you're here for a gym challenge, hang on for a bit. I've got to head to Dragon Spiral Tower. I'm going too. Dragon Spiral Tower is to the north of here, right? Whoa! Whoa! What should I do? For now, I have to go to Dragon Spiral Tower. Okay, I'm heading north. Are you? You look like you're just standing there. Dragon Spiral Tower, outside. Who do we meet here? I'm sorry, but Deerling is already off the menu game. I don't care if it's raining, my monkey's gonna punch it. We're here until we find a new encounter. I'm sorry, game, but Tranquil is off the menu. Unfortunately, my monkey punching this won't be as effective as it punching a Deerling. And yet... Nope. No one-shot. Nice crit. Kinda unnecessary. Tranquils continue to not be usable, game. Please, game. I know you can give me something I don't already have in this grass. So just give it to me. Please, enough with the birds. I appreciate the speed EVs, but enough with the birds. Well, these Deerlings I don't have to harm myself to get rid of. Well, at least to get rid of quickly. I don't have to harm myself to get rid of birds either, but if I want to do it in one turn, I do. Enough with the birds. So, fun fact. There is a whole 40% of the encounter table for this particular location that we haven't met yet because we've been hitting the 30% birds too much. Incidentally, Deerling is also 30%. So, we have hit 4 of the same 30% encounter rate in a row. Which, for the record, there is a 0.81% chance of finding that many Tranquils in a row here. And our chances of not having found any of the other 40% of the encounter table right now, by this point, are 4.7%. There is a 4.7% chance to, after this many encounters, still not have seen anything from the remaining 40% of the encounter table. Thanks, game. And our chances now dropping even further. Our chances of not having found anything from that part of the encounter table is now 2.8%. And we found the coolest option. This is a 10% encounter rate. We have still been missing 30% of the encounter table. Because Mienfu is also a 30% encounter rate here. And we just haven't seen it. Well, the low health music didn't last long. Sending out Archeops just because I know that Chip Away has been not very effective against it before. I think it's a normal type move, but I honestly don't know. I'm not familiar enough with Chip Away. And there we go, we got a Drudigan. Drudigan, the cave Pokémon. It races through narrow caves, using its sharp claws to catch prey. The skin on its face is harder than a rock. Drudigan is one of those Pokemon whose shiny I really do not care for. Because we already got that blue and red thing going on. And his shiny changes the blue for green, which is okay, but I tend to prefer Pokemon being bluer. And it changes the red for orange, which I'm just not a fan of orange. Hey, Redmond!
Oh, Redmond! And you must be Bianca. I'm the other Professor Juniper. Professor Juniper who gave you the Pokédex is my daughter.
Nice to meet you, Professor. Thanks to Professor Juniper, I got to go on a journey and start figuring out possibilities for my life. I'm very, very grateful to her.
Is that right? Grand. Actually, we should chat later. Redmond, Bianca, here's the situation. Some members of Team Plasma, quite a large group, broke through the tower wall and went inside. Bryson and that young man, I believe his name is Charon, the two of them went after Team Plasma, but...
Professor, what's the Dragon Spiral Tower?
Huh, I guess you would be curious. Well, I'll explain briefly. Dragon Spiral Tower has stood tall since long before Unova was founded. On the top floor, the legendary Dragon-type Pokémon waits for a person seeking truth to appear. That's what is said. Are you going to go after Team Plasma like your friend did? It's admirable of you to join the fight against Team Plasma, but it's risky too.
Don't worry. Redmond and Charon are both really, really strong, and they've beaten Team Plasma before. But I'm not all that strong, actually. I admit it. I'm not very strong, so I was thinking... It would be nice if maybe I could stay here and be your bodyguard?
Why, thank you. That makes me feel much safer. Well, Redmond, it's up to you. Climb the tower. This is all I can give you, but it might help you rest. Still, what could Team Plasma be after?
Redmond, please don't do anything crazy.
Oh, I won't. Oh, you don't want to battle?
Earlier, the gym leader went up the tower. If you're lucky, you might witness a legend.
And on our first step inside the tower, we find a repeat encounter, and therefore, it will not get added to the team. Nor will it count against us. And technically, this is still Dragon Spiral Tower, and outside is also Dragon Spiral Tower, and I'm just going to run from dragons. They're a lot sturdier than I would like them to be, and they've got rough skin, so getting rid of them easily isn't exactly a thing. Oh, that didn't sound good. Is something going wild at the top of the tower? Maybe. Sorry, Dredigan, I'm not here for you. Water's too low to surf on. And there's what I was hoping to see. Notably, these guys are a 50% encounter rate here. And we didn't see it until the third encounter. Thanks, game. Let's do a dig. Dig will hurt Golett less than Fire Punch, probably. Well, after an Iron Defense, it definitely won't do too much. That Dynamic Punch did not do a whole lot. And there we go, Golett captured. I have to seriously consider adding it to the team because I do love me some Golurk. Golett, the automaton Pokemon. These Pokemon are thought to have been created by the science of an ancient and mysterious civilization.
Redmond! You can walk on the fallen columns, too. I'm going after Team Plasma.
I mean, we can walk on the fallen columns. And just out of curiosity, let's see how a Fire Punch does against a Golett. I actually need to consider what my answer to dragon types is. Because that is the next gym. As far as ice moves go, pretty sure the only one I've got access to is the one that I was just given, Frost Breath. And sure, it always crits, but A, no one can learn it. B, it's only 90% accuracy, and C, base power of 40 even with a crit. Isn't that huge? Yeah, we could walk on the fallen columns. Or we could just use strength there. Take a shortcut. It's actually kind of incredible we've managed to go this long between the outside and inside of this tower without meeting a Mienfoo. Because they are here. Outside they are 10% of the encounter table, or no, outside they're 30% of the encounter table and we never saw them. And in here they're 20% of the encounter table and we still haven't seen them. Like, even if I did see one, I wouldn't catch it. I'm not allowed to. But, like, just feels weird missing so much of the encounter table for so long. Like, if they were a 5% or a 1% encounter, that'd be different, but 30% and 20%, this is an awfully long time to go without seeing them. Game, can you let me go at least 2 steps without an encounter, please? I mean, it let me go more than 2 steps. That was nice. Okay, this top one can get us to that item. No, it can't. This one gets us to the item. Oh boy, it's a stone I'm not going to use. Redmond, we'll hold them here. You go on ahead.
This is nothing, but there sure are a lot of them. Oh, what a complete bother. No one! I won't let anyone get in our way. His strength, could it be equal to the 7 sages? So this is the true strength of a gym leader.
I'm fine, but there's no time.
Yeah, all right. If I have to lose, at least it's to the gym leader. Right now, our king is upstairs. There's nothing you can do. Why do you get in our way even though you don't understand our sublime goal? So young, but so tough. Why do you make that extra push? What is the source of that strength? Bryson, Sharon, they're moving around being annoying.
I don't know, they look like they're holding still to me. Hey there, Outlander. Can't say that I've played Deltarune or its anagram. I do own Undertale, I just haven't ever launched it. Why are you and the gym leaders against us? I just can't understand it at all. It's just one of those things that I plan to get to it eventually, but I just haven't.
I will hurt anyone who disobeys Team Plasma.
I mean, if you want to hurt anyone, you're going to have to get through my monkey first. Ever since he evolved, or she evolved, she has proven to be incredibly potent. Though, this Lypra does have a very real chance of getting damage on her with Fake Out. And yet, she did not. Yeah, from an aesthetic standpoint, Undertale always felt to me like the sort of thing I should play after I eventually finish a playthrough of Earthbound. Like, I know there's nothing linking the two, but aesthetically they're so similar, it feels like one is probably at least somewhat inspired by the other.
You, before you came here, how many Pokemon did you hurt?
How many did you hurt?
I'm sure you also thought I'm strong and I can win, and came here.
I mean, I didn't really think I'm strong. I was just like, yeah, I can beat those jerks. Those chumps. Why, I doubt you'll even see anyone other than my monkey. Because my monkey is strong.
If the king of Team Plasma rules the world, trainers will disappear and disputes will end.
I'm sorry to say, but disputes still will exist, even if people don't have Pokemon to solve them with. They'll just use more direct means. I don't think that's a better world.
We exist to serve our Lord N.
I don't like that she sent out the Liepard first. Because when I see a Liepard, I am tempted to click Hammer Arm. But if I do that, I'll be slower for whatever comes next, so I'm just going to Fire Punch. Or I'm going to get faked out. Look at that. The first time since we left Twist Mountain that a trainer's Pokemon managed to put damage on my monkey. Okay, we can Hammer Arm this one.
Because there are nights, the sun is beautiful. Because we exist, our king shines. Since coming to Dragon Spiral Tower, my stress level is maxed out. The more hyper I am, the faster you'll go down. I don't think that's how it works. Your emotional state has nothing to do with how well your Pokemon perform. I mean, it might have a little bit to do with how well you can direct them, but like, you being more hyper won't make your Pokemon use their moves stronger or faster. I can stand to be slowed down a little. Yeah, Outlander, I know that there's a lot of games that are like that, where there's a lot of things that you can play if you want to understand every little bit. Every little gag, everything. But when it comes to games like that, there's always at least a couple games that are significantly more... significantly larger inspirations for them. So, like, yeah. I don't necessarily need to get all of the deep cuts, but the main inspirations, I feel like you can get more out of a game if you understand those.
Still, this is a great tower. I feel not only its history, but also its awe-inspiring power. Ah, yes, this... Going left gets us to a dead end. Going right from here gets us to item. Not the most interesting of items, but item nonetheless. Then going left here gets us to item. Then we go here. Hop. Go all the way right for item. And upstairs.
Burn, baby, burn!
Sounds like something is on a rampage at the top of the tower. It's finally time. Our Lord N will become the hero. What? Someone made it clear up here. Now, stop that trainer for our Lord N. Everyone who isn't Team Plasma is an enemy. Use all your powers to take them out.
No one can interfere with Unova's new dawn.
You want to bet? Be more interesting if these trainers were not doing one at a time battles. Like, there's 4 of them. There's only the one attacking me right now? I would prefer if it was a pair of double battles or a single battle and a triple battle.
Sheesh, losing to a kid. But Team Plasma is more than one person. Our dream is about to come true. No one will be able to stop us.
Indeed, Crab, Team Plasma is not more than one at once. Imagine if they pulled out a Team Plasma Grunt Horde here, a generation before Horde battles became a thing. We got a Team Aqua Grunt Horde in Alpha Sapphire. We got a Magma Grunt Horde in Omega Ruby. Why not a Team Plasma Grunt Horde?
You may have stopped me, but my teammate will stop you here.
Only one of them, though?
Here I come, Plasma!
I guess today's burnable trash day. That's not a thing here. But in Japan, you do have to separate your trash into burnables and non-burnables. Burnable trash is collected more frequently. And the reason that they have you separated is because they've got biomass power plants where they generate power by burning trash. And therefore, burnable trash day is a thing. And since I used a fire monkey to use a fire move against a trash bag Pokemon, that means today must have been burnable trash day.
Our king will create a new world.
Bring it on. Can you take on 4 in a row? Yes. Easily. These 4 grunts had 6 Pokemon between them. We could have just had 1 grunt with 6 Pokemon. Though admittedly, if you were playing on shift battle style instead of set, then having 1 grunt with 6 Pokemon would have been an easier battle. I don't understand. Why do you keep trying so hard? Well, we'll let you through for now. Okay, but what about you? The hero will open up the way to a new world, which means you trainers can all prepare to lose your Pokemon. So you're just not even going to try and fight, huh? And yeah, Crab, Hordes only lasted a generation, but let's be real, they shouldn't have even lasted that long, considering how much they made the 3DS choke. Good old 2DN in a otherwise fully 3D environment. What do you think, Redmond? How do you like the beautiful form of the Pokemon who appears before and fights beside the hero that will lead the way to a new world? Now, Reshiram and I will head to the Pokemon League and defeat the champion. This will be the last of the Pokemon battles that hurt Pokemon so. A world for Pokemon alone. It's finally going to be a reality. If you want to stop me, you must become a hero as well. That's right, when Reshiram's counterpart, Zekrom, recognizes you, we will finally be even, and then you can try to stop us. I don't need Zekrom to be even with you. Like, it's going to be forced into my party. But I am not going to use it in battle, I swear to you. Well, what will you do? My prediction, if the future that I see is true, you will meet Zekrom. The Pokemon with you believe in you so strongly. Will you be the one who interferes with my formula and for changing the world? If you want to protect the bonds between Pokemon and people, you must search for Zekrom. I'm sure it is waiting for you in the form of the Darkstone. Redmond, did you see what flew off just now? How could this happen? Why? That was that guy N, right? Why was he with the legendary Pokemon? He couldn't really be the hero, could he? Also, did I hear him tell you to search for the other legendary Pokemon? Calm down. First we go back. It's more important to decide what to do next than to analyze what just happened. I feel like analyzing what just happened could help inform what we do next. Just for the record. Crab, I don't think they allow you to deny adding Zekrom to your party. I think they force it in. But if they do let you deny it, then I will do so. Astounding. I never would have imagined the legendary Dragon-type Pokemon would return now. That guy called N. Or Natural Harmonia Gropius, if you know his full name. Team Plasma's boss apparently reawakened the legendary Pokemon. He told Redmond to look for the other legendary Pokemon, then flew away. Huh? There are 2 legendary Dragon-type Pokemon? There's a few more than just 2 legendary Dragon-type Pokemon if you want to talk about every legendary Pokemon that's a Dragon-type, but even in this game there are 3. Yes, there are. Oh, that should have been, yes, there are. Why, if it isn't Alder? It's been a while. Have you been well? No time for chit-chat. That fearsome column of fire that shot from the tower. That Pokemon has the power to destroy the world. Shame we didn't get to see that fearsome column of fire shoot from the tower. If it's on Team Plasma's side and Team Plasma tells everyone to release their Pokemon, no matter whether it comes from fear or admiration, the world can't help but change. It will become a world where we are separated from Pokemon.
Right. Moreover, the boss of Team Plasma, N, who reawakened Reshiram, apparently said to look for the other Pokemon, Zekrom.
If I remember the myth, Reshiram's fiery breath, along with the other Pokemon, devastated ancient Unova in an instant. Even knowing that, N is still wanting to awaken the other?
Huh? Isn't it dangerous to bring back a Pokemon that powerful?
Miss, you are a very kind person. Still, I don't know if other Pokemon will be able to stand up to it. Because, no matter what, it is a legendary being. I don't like the idea of taking orders from N, but searching for the dragon, the stone, might not be a bad plan. We certainly can't let Team Plasma reawaken both of them. Since I've traveled all over Unova, I have an idea of where it might be. Let's head to the Relic Castle. Redmond, everyone, I'm going.
I see. We'll leave that to you. I'm going to investigate inside the tower. Hopefully I'll find something.
Then I will go with you.
I think I understand better now. Being able to do something for Pokemon, for somebody at a time like this, is strength. I'm sure of it. And my strength is something that is given to me by Pokemon. Okay, champion, let's hurry. Redmond, this has turned into a big deal. So confusing. I don't know what to do. Are you going to go to the Relic Castle, Redmond? Past Route 4 in the Desert Resort. I hear that's where the Relic Castle is.
Forgot that they made us go there before post-game. Yeah, Crab, it is nice when a Pokemon game manages to at least show us both legendaries in one game. It's even better when they pull a gold and silver and let us catch both in one game. So annoying being slower in sand on the bike than on foot. Anytime your bike gets slowed down, it's just an annoyance. I guess they probably want us going in.
Stop, Redmond! That's the entrance to the Relic Castle. You're impressive, Redmond, making it here before I did. Dealing with the Desert Resort's Pokemon took longer than I would have thought.
They're like level 20, dude.
I only made it all the way out here thanks to my Pokemon. Alder went on ahead. Let's hurry.
Yeah, Outlander, I also appreciate that Scarlet and Violet gave you 2 copies of your cover legendary. What I don't appreciate is that one of them can't be traded. And also you can't ride your freaking mount unless it is removed from your battle party. Like, you can't ride it and have it in your battle party at the same time, which is super annoying. There, the sand is cleared away, so now you can proceed. Getchus told us that once again we should test how much power you have. We will see if you can defeat Team Plasma. Okay. I've heard about you. I heard you work Pokemon hard. Oh, dang, we missed with Hammer Arm. That doesn't happen every time. Actually happens rather infrequently. But let us bird to avoid this dig. I have 2 experience shares, and neither one is on a Pokemon right now. That feels like I'm wasting potential. Looks like Lilligant, Samurott, and Archeops are all tied for lowest level. If Duosion gets 2 more levels, it's going to evolve. Let's go ahead and slap an XP share on it. And you know what? Let's slap another XP share on Samurott. Actually, wait. Well, yeah, Samurott's probably worth putting an XP share on. And let's actually replace the scope lens on Darmanitan with the lucky egg, because, hey, it never hurts to get even more levels. Still amuses me that they let us struggle around, but it will never save us from sinking. Oh, a whole Cofagrigus. No, we don't need it to learn Encore. Also, wow, that soft reset on Ultramoon took a remarkably long time. I wonder, can I teach Shadow Claw to Monkey at this point? I don't think I was able to before, but if I can now, I'm going to. I cannot. Monkey cannot learn Shadow Claw. It's a shame. Would have liked to have it. You, to please my Pokemon, lose. Nah. I elect to not lose. Seriously, Darmanitan with Sheer Force is so good. Just ludicrously strong. And sure, I'm a little over-leveled at this point, but ludicrously strong. Because of you, my Pokemon lost. Don't you feel sorry for them? Besides, you're just depending on your Pokemon for strength. Aren't you also depending on your Pokemon for strength? Okay, we don't need to bother going up there. You can't change the world without a little pain. Though it is better if it's just a little pain rather than a lot. It is possible to reduce the harm you inflict while also doing things that will eventually be for the better. We're trying so hard to change the world because nobody else is trying, yet... That's right, you! Can you understand our Lord N's feelings? That yet was supposed to be, because nobody else is trying, yet. Oh hey, another Kofagrigus. I don't mind fighting a Kofagrigus, those things are decent XP. Well, would you look at that? It survived and managed to mummy us. Shame mummy kicks in after the burn chance. Yeah, Crab, my personal hope for Winds and Waves is mostly just that water traversal doesn't suck. Because it's clearly going to be a big part of the games. So we need it to not suck. Shadow Ball seems like the type of thing a Duosion can learn. It is the type of thing a Duosion can learn. At this point, I'm going to get rid of Psyshock. We don't need Duosion to be able to hit physical defense. We've got other Pokemon for that. And as far as legendaries for Winds and Waves, I am not aware of either one. And I'm probably going to try and keep it that way, as long as they don't show it off in like a Nintendo Direct, because while I will watch Nintendo Directs, I already know I'm going to buy both Winds and Waves. Might as well try and stay as unspoiled as I can on them. If everyone frees their Pokemon, there's no winning or losing. Not at Pokemon battles. But people have all kinds of ways to battle each other that do not involve Pokemon, just for the record. Like, Team Plasma's plan here is basically, if we eliminate the sport of boxing, no one will ever fight each other again. And, got news for you, Plasma. How dare you interrupt us without understanding us? Oh, but I do understand you. Yeah, Crab, in the future, if you could just refrain from talking about leaks at all, even if it's just to say when we expect news to be delivered. I personally am not a fan of leaks in the slightest. There is no such thing as a good leak for a game company. And I'd rather not give any oxygen to the people who make the leaks, because giving them any credence whatsoever only encourages them to do more. And every leak, every single one, harms the game company that is having its information leaked in some way or other. There is no such thing as a harmless leak. So yeah, even if it's second or third hand information, if you could just refrain from talking about leaks at all in my chat, that would be appreciated. Pretty sure every one of these Crocorox is giving us attack EVs. In which case, smacking them is worth it for Darmanitan and Samurott. Not so much for Duosion. But if I was going to start caring about EVs in this run, now is a little bit too late to do so. Okay, that's just a dead end. Are you sure you want to battle me on top of the quicksand? Pokemon are too good for the likes of you. They're amazing, but putting them in the hands of foolish trainers can bring nothing good. Yeah, Crab, even the most harmless of leaks still affects the marketing plan for a game and can very easily end up wasting a bunch of the company's marketing budget or making their marketing budget not go as far as it otherwise could have. So yeah, even a leak that gets people excited for a game, when it's information that's revealed at a time that isn't when the company planned for it, then it makes it so that either they have to reveal even more the next time they plan to do a reveal in order to make people not go, oh, we already learned this from leaks. Or they reveal what the leaks already revealed, and the people who don't look at leaks get surprised and are excited. But then the people who do look at leaks are like, oh, we already know this. You don't have anything else to show us? Wow, this game must suck. So yeah, it's... even leaks that get people excited for a game still do harm to the marketing strategy for it. There's no such thing as a harmless leak. And that is part of why I actively click do not recommend channel to me whenever a video pops up on my YouTube feed that's like, oh, leak for this game says something. Like, there are very few things. There are some, but there are few things that can get me to block a channel more quickly than posting a video about a leak. Me lose? Here I am, covered in sand, throwing everything I have into it. And I lose? Am I that much of a loser? It should be your loss, and that's an order. Yeah, I don't think you can just order people to lose, ma'am. Not unless they're your direct subordinate. I want that item. But we can probably get it on the way back up. We fight for the young king. That's it. But do you fight in a double battle? Nope, still singles. Team Plasma got no cooperation skills whatsoever. Everything changes. Unova will also be born again. Why don't you admit that? I didn't realize Unova was religious. I won't tolerate people who have different ideas. That's called bigotry, ma'am. One more level, and we get a Reuniclus.
I repeat, we won't tolerate people who have different ideas.
You just made it plural. It was singular before. Before it was I won't tolerate. Now it's we. Way to rope the rest of your team into your bigotry.
Your friends are waiting below. Now get out.
You said friends plural, but there was only one. Or are you saying that Getsus is my friend?
Getsus, are we friends? Phew, I finally caught up.
You two, come here. Come to my side.
It looks like everyone is here. It seems you are working hard to resurrect Zekrom, the other Dragon-type Pokemon, aren't you?
Am I? Is that what we're here for? I don't believe Zekrom is here.
But it appears the dark stone you seek is not here. Well then, congratulations are in order. Redmond, you were chosen by our king. If you truly desire to keep the world as it is, where Pokemon live alongside people, you must bring the other Dragon-type Pokemon spoken of in legend and battle with our king. Otherwise, Team Plasma will steal every Pokemon from every person in the world and release them all.
Okay, but then how will you stop people from just capturing Pokemon again? You can't be everywhere all the time. Unless you stop Pokeballs from existing, you're still not solving the problem. Release them, you say? Do the Pokemon who live with their trainers actually want that? Is the liberation you talk about really just stealing Pokemon from people?
What's this? Champion Alder, even though illness took the Pokemon that had been your partner for many years, and you haven't had a serious battle in all that time, even you, who ordered the Elite Four to protect the Pokemon League and left to wander the Unova region alone, even a champion like you now wants to protect a world where Pokemon and people live together?
Getsus, you're saying, oh man, you had your cat die, and you still want people to own cats? My guy. And yet, Crab, if it's following game rules, they'll never see the released Pokemon again, but there's nothing to stop them from catching new Pokemon, is what I was saying. As long as Pokeballs exist, you can go out to any patch of grass and catch a new Pokemon.
Team Plasma's king will show the people of Unova that he is stronger than a champion who keeps Pokemon bound. And just like the hero who founded Unova, he will be accompanied by the legendary Pokemon. He will give this order: trainers, release your Pokemon. For this, we have prepared a suitable castle for the legendary Reshiram and our king. I won't lose. I'll fight for all trainers who love their Pokemon, and for all Pokemon who believe in their trainers. Our king has no interest in you. He has already determined that victory against you is assured. So you stayed behind just to tell me that? Just to make a fool of me? Of course not. I'm doing this out of kindness. Yes, kindness. I'm making sure the champion doesn't get hurt for no reason. Granted, the moment when someone loses all hope. I really do love to watch that moment. Well then, farewell. Alder, what are you going to do now? It seems my only choice is to return to the Pokemon League and battle N. But it bothers me to do exactly what Getsus wants. More importantly, what should we do about the Darkstone? Alder, why don't we go outside for now? Yes, that's a good idea. It's hard to breathe in here. Don't force me out. There's items. It's hard to put into words, but I'll never forgive them for this. Look at that guy called N, short for Natural Harmonia Gropius,
possibly want? Could he be trying to prove he is right by winning the battle of the two dragons?
Redmond! Redmond! Hello, Redmond! Oh, you picked up. Hey, Redmond! Come to the museum in Nacrene City immediately. Right away, got it? I mean, right now!
I could hear Professor Juniper's voice from clear over here. Ah, yes, from like 4 feet away. Amazing. Seems like something big is happening. Wonder what is waiting at the museum in Nacrene City. I'll go on ahead. And yeah, Crab gets us absolutely underestimates the bonds some Pokemon and trainers have.
I'll look around here once more. I don't want to believe what that Getsus says. You should head for the Nacrene City Museum.
Yeah, both underestimating the bonds people and Pokemon have, and also just assuming, oh hey, you once lost a pet, and therefore you must want nobody to ever have pets again. That's not how it works. You lose a pet, you grieve for a while, and then you get a new pet, because you like having a pet. Having a pet feels better than the pain of losing a pet feels bad. So like, yeah, you get a new pet after you've done your grieving. That's how it works. You don't just go, oh, I lost my pet, and now nobody is ever allowed to have pets again. Hang on, we're gonna get an accordion added to this music.
Alder told me what's going on. Redmond, you got caught up in something serious, it seems. Is this it? Whoa, isn't that the stone found in the desert resort? Yes, that's right, but is this really a dragon-type Pokemon? Surely, when I investigated Dragon Spiral Tower, I found elements that were dated to be the same era as this Darkstone. Or dated to the same era. I looked into that. Impressive as always. But, you know, we're lucky, because what if Team Plasma, like, noticed that old stone that time? That's a good point. It's clear to me that they were trying to steal the Dragon Skull so they could revive the legendary Dragon-type Pokemon. If you would, Redmond, take this.
Wait a moment, Redmond. If you take this Dark Stone, that means you'll be the one to battle N, also known as Natural Harmonia Gropius, if anything happens to me. Are you really okay with that? I understand. You're determined to take on this duty. Then here it is. Prepare yourself. Be strong.
I see. If things don't go as planned, you'll use this Darkstone. You'll protect the ideal future for us and Pokemon. Redmond, we're counting on you. Please take care of yourself.
So, how do we take the dragon, or wake the dragon-type Pokemon from the stone, then?
That's it. We've got them, don't we?
Aha! We've got those two. Redmond, go to Opelucid City. The gym leader of that city uses dragon-type Pokemon. The gym leader could know something. I'll go ahead and wait for you there. Until then. Shame you couldn't just fly me there. Let me skip a route.
That's right. Opelucid City's Iris might know something.
Hey, Redmond. Never forget that you always have Pokemon right by your side.
I'm going to head back to the lab and do some research. I'll see if I can uncover what kinds of beings these legendary Dragon-type Pokemon are, and if there's any way to awaken them. Don't worry. If we have something for you, we'll come running to find you. Ooh, sounds real serious. That's about all I got out of it. Redmond, do you know Opaloost City?
It's on the map.
When you leave from Asira City and, like, cross the tube-line bridge, it's on the other side. I'm not that great with directions, so if you need more, check your town map, okay?
I had forgotten which game had Iris and which had Drayden as its gym leader. I guess Iris is in white and Drayden is in black? I mean, they're both in the game. That's why they said those two. Of course, we're not going to battle either one today. Because it's time to call this a stream. So thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that. And I will be back tomorrow with more Pokemon White. See you then, friends.